And this also opened the door for men to be more comfortable.
Even this caption right here, you look so happy, thanks I beat men. No, you beat men because you're not happy, right? You have to be so miserable that you feel like the only way to get your reality to look more like what you want it to look like, you have to inflict pain on another person. That's the heights of misery. That's the heights of misery. That's what we say about racism, sexism, all forms of bigotry. It's you needing to be nasty to and hurt other people in order for you to be in a state of like balance. That's such a miserable place to be in life. So apparently there is this trend, a growing trend on TikTok of women in particular, but men as well, but really it's mostly women at this stage, that are bragging about the fact that they commit domestic violence. They commit domestic violence on their husbands and boyfriends and shit like that, right? They're beating men and they see it as a form of empowerment. This is very strange. This is very strange. So let's go ahead and check out this video by Janae Danielle and explore this topic.
Beating on men, putting your hands on men. Y'all really think that that's funny? A lot of y'all ain't been beat back.
Beats boys.
Oh.
Beats that boy.
I'm not the friend that you call when your man is acting up, because I'm going to tell you to put your hands on him.
Acting up?
Just saw a girl hit her
What do you mean your man is acting up? What is that?
boyfriend. It's hard watching others live your dream.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but sometimes a man does need to be beat. 2026, men, we get beat.
The way a lot of y'all is normalizing domestic violence is really scary to me.
One of the worst things that can happen in a relationship is surprise being repackaged and resurfacing on the internet as something, I kid you not, hashtag relatable, hashtag funny, and hashtag trending. Yes, domestic violence is trending on social media, and I wish I could say it was because we fast forwarded to October and it was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but no, we are currently in the time where people are loudly and proudly coming online and taking a stand for it.
Men,
Wow.
men are very
Interesting.
audacious.
Crazy.
They don't get beaten enough.
Now, before we get into this video, I do want to give a quick viewer advisory. I will be blurring all physical.
This is such a silly concept to me. I can't lie to you though. The idea of a woman beating like me is just so like crazy to me.
That being said, to understand how we got to the lowest point of society, we have to go back to a time when this wasn't a trend, okay? It was a secret.
I wouldn't let anybody know. In fact, when it all did come out, everybody was very surprised because when I had the black and blues and that, I didn't go out. I didn't go anyplace.
But he would have such control not to hit me in the face, so that way no one would know. It was a big secret, and he could keep it that way.
I tried to cover up for years. I tried to cover up for having to go in with the black eye and make an excuse that it was the footballer, it was walking into the door. You know, the covering up is the worst, I feel.
That's
Domestic
crazy,
violence
man.
was something that dangerously thrived because of silence, and it was everywhere.
Yeah, man. That just is not gonna work. That's just not gonna work.
To men and women all around the world, but it lived behind closed doors in neighborhoods where everyone minded their business because legally it was allowed.
If you go back to, say, the 1960s, what you would find is that intervention by police officers in cases involving intimate partner violence was pretty rare. That oftentimes the men, and at that time we were only talking about men as perpetrators of violence, were told to take a walk around the block. But the police training manuals of the time actually said, don't intervene. These are domestic cases.
Back in the early 1900s, the law and law enforcement, they didn't see domestic violence as abuse. It was a private marital matter, which meant whatever happened between you and your spouse and in your household was not their crime to care about, especially if they didn't see it happen for themselves.
Open up, it's the police. Now you're gonna pay. Thank God, get him out of here. He hit the face.
Calm down. Take it easy. All right, get him out of here.
Get out of here.
Fresh here. Take it easy.
He's crazy. He doesn't know what he's doing.
All right, he seems to be all right.
Bro, all of this, we can blame all of this on Christianity and the patriarchy, right? I feel like I've been beating up on Christianity a lot lately, but I mean, it just is what it is, right? This situation happens for a few reasons. The first reason is because men are told, especially in the context of Christianity, that women are to submit to you, right? Your wife, your girlfriend should be submissive to you. And so when she is not doing what she is supposed to do, when you don't have the ability to control her, obviously, like, your next instinctual move is to make her submit in some fashion. And of course, there's a ladder of escalation. First, it can start with just being passive aggressive, but of course, some men take it all the way to the extreme, to the point where they physically are putting their hands on their woman to get them to obey. Women, of course, are oftentimes made prisoners within their relationships because they have placed themselves or have been placed in a situation where they are dependent on the man. And so similarly, if the man isn't doing what she wants him to do, it all just comes down to both parties feeling trapped and coming to the conclusion that if the other person doesn't do what you desire them to do, it is in some way going to diminish the quality of your life. That's really what it all comes down to, right? As a man, you get a chick pregnant, you have kids with her. It's like, if she starts acting in a way that you don't want your girl to be acting, it's like, man, I leave her, she take half my shit. Now I'm on child support. Now I can't really see my kids. Right? Oh man, I married the wrong chick, or I'm with the wrong chick. And the same is true if you flip the tables for the woman. And so if we lived in a society where there just weren't all of these cultural expectations and people had the freedom, there was an easier way for married people or people who have children to part ways. You know what I'm saying? And if we could stop pushing this ideology that women are supposed to be obedient to men, if everybody could just treat each other like no differently than you treat your friends. Notice this is not a problem that really arises within friendships, right? Where you beat up on your friends. Why is that? Because neither of you are relying on the other person in any significant way like that.
Down to emergency?
Oh, I just want to end your life.
Well, ma'am, now I can't do that.
What?
Unless the crime is committed in our presence.
Do you mean you can't arrest a man when he's beating up a woman?
Not unless we see him do it.
This position of power the husband had was because he was the head of the household, and back in that era, being the head of the house, making all the money, and basically owning all legal rights to your wife. Because let's not forget, women weren't considered independent individuals until the 1970s. That means while the police enforce no laws, the aggressor could enforce anything on their family.
A husband is kind of king of the household. He is the person with legal rights. And then societal attitudes and also often police procedures that turned a blind eye towards domestic violence. Many people would say, well, you need to stay with your husband. Well, what are you doing to provoke this? Ministers might have this attitude. Neighbors, domestic abuse, it's a family matter.
So what did a lot of women do? Well, a lot of them tried to leave, of course, but with no support from the system and nowhere else to run. And then on top of that, they probably had babies and children. That factor was held over their heads at any mention of walking out that door.
You don't want me to go to school, do you?
I want you to stay at home where you belong.
See, right? All about control, man. That's what all of this comes down to, is the feeling like you have control over another person and them not doing what you want them to do.
I'll leave you first.
Wait just a minute. You calm down. You're not in any position to make any impulsive decisions.
Oh, no. I'm taking Stevie and I'm leaving.
No way. A boy Stevie's age needs his father. Ask any judge. I know, I'm a lawyer, remember? You are my wife. Stevie is my son. And nothing you can say or do will change that. If you ever leave me again, I'll use every law in the books to make sure you never see Stevie again. You understand?
Fast forward to the 1970s, women were getting a bit more legal rights. They were told to fight back against male control, and that sparked a fire in them. But without a place to run, without their own money, the only thing women could retaliate with was death.
Bro, this is insane. That one half of the population, essentially for the past few thousand years, has enslaved the other half of the population, bro. That's crazy. Wow. That's wild, bro.
Really punching her that night. Really her up bad that night. And my mom decided she'd had enough. She put us in the car, went back in the house, came back out in a rush, crying. All his kids are screaming. And I remember looking back, just like this, and seeing flames through the trees.
Francine Hughes burst into the guardhouse at the sheriff's office shouting, "I did it, I did it." What she'd done was her husband.
She poured gasoline under his bed and lit it.
She was driven to her husband by constant beatings during the 13 years they lived together.
No other trial that originated in the state of Michigan has received such widespread national attention as the Francine Hughes murder trial.
Wow.
The burning bed case was one of the first DV cases that drew massive media attention to expose the legal system failures and shine light on the reality of it all.
Police were called all the time. And unless they saw Mickey actually striking Francine, which was highly unlikely, they would leave. And that happened many times.
When I say women were fighting back, y'all, they were fighting back. Prisons around that time were full of women who were really just serving life for taking their abusers. With all of this happening, the police officers and courts, they heard this retaliation by death loud and clear. A much needed cultural shift was happening. Women were being justified. Yes, in many of these cases, they had to take a life to get theirs back, but in the end, these women weren't being punished anymore for being punished.
These women are in prison because of the process, not because of their cases, not because of the facts of their cases.
So I just wrote a simple letter asking the governor, we've been in prison for multiple years, we're abused women, we've suffered, we are offenders, but we're victims, and everybody signed it. And before I knew it, there was this big, wow.
We need all our sisters home. Our families are missing their mothers, their daughters.
So back then, women weren't violent because they wanted power. They had no protection, and their fight was about survival. But over time, that started to shift, and the tone around aggression became a bit casual. Around the early 2000s, a lot of kids were basically taught that one playground rule that I feel like messed a lot of people up in the heads. You know the phrase, if they hit you, it means they like you.
Do you know why that little boy did those things and said those things? It's because he likes you.
Whoever conjured up the lie.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's crazy.
To tell little girls, oh, when he hits you, he likes you? Why were you setting women up for failure?
Yeah,
I don't know if it was because from decades of treating violence
I can't imagine one of my daughters coming home to me and talking about some little boy on the playground hit her, and I'll be like, oh, don't worry, sweetheart. That just means he has a little crush on you. Yeah, nah. I might have to run a fade with his pops if you don't stop that shit.
Private or expected, that opened the door for later generations to grow up, confusing the message around love and conflict. I don't know. But teaching a child that aggressive behavior means someone loves you, that's never going to end well. And as the world got a bit more modern, it started to prove that.
If your boyfriend hits you or beats you up, stay with him. He loves you because he's risking for you to press charges on him, calling the police. A guy that's willing to do that for a girl, it's amazing.
Do you really? That's a fucking idiot. That's a big old dummy putting himself in that position. Yeah, nah.
believe that, or are you just goofing on everybody?
I really do believe that. Like, I get a lot of messages on my social media asking me for advice, and a lot of girls are like, I look up to you, and I feel like I'm an inspiration to them. They feel the same way.
We went from many women enduring violence, fighting against that violence, just to teach kids that violence means love.
I don't like him.
What did he do?
He was doing all the things. He was chasing, he was following me, chasing me, trying to pretend he was by me, and he yelled on my face, he yelled on my ears, and he bring my body parts, he yelled on my face, and he spit on my face.
You know, a lot of the times when boys do that and they act like that, it's because they like you.
And I truly feel like that
What the fuck, man? That's crazy. That's crazy to be telling your daughter that.
Right there, put it in the heads of many people that putting your hands on your partner wasn't shameful anymore. It was just a part of the relationship.
This is my brother. No, they not. Because I'm not. What are you talking about?
It's not about you.
It is because you my fuck you talking about.
Wow, she just like casually slapped this man in the middle of the conversation. That's crazy to me that dudes are out here allowing this shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand why a girl lets it slide because, you know what I'm saying, he's so much bigger than you and stronger than you would think, presumably. And so there's that fear aspect. But, and as a man, I'm not saying put your hands back on the woman, but like, you can't just let that shit slide, man. You can't just have a woman smacking you on a regular basis or ever, really. That's crazy to me. That's like, oh, this relationship is over. This is done. You're a controlling psychopath, and you're trying to get me to go to jail because it's not gonna be the same, right? It's not gonna be the same.
About you.
So watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth is crazy to me, man. Watch your mouth is crazy, and then you smack me? That's crazy to me. And the fact that they're doing this shit on camera.
If we want to be honest, the way these couples just casually discuss this may make a lot of you say, hey, it's just a joke. But where did we get to this point in a relationship where this is a joke?
Y'all talk so much and now I understand why men used to come home and beat their wives. I understand now. I'm starting to understand that. I really am.
What the fuck? I mean, shit, man. That's the time we living in. All right. These women are real comfortable. That's how you know dudes ain't really hitting their girls like that no more, bro. Cause, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't a fair fight. We all agree that this is not a fair fight between these two right here. And so what is that? But this is not good. This is not healthy. And that's the thing. Like, you might be fucking around hitting this dude, and he's like, oh, you're a girl. It's not a big deal. You know, I holding you off. But one day you gonna do it, and he's not gonna be in the right state of mind, and he's gonna put you in the fucking hospital or worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a very dangerous game.
I had to mute the song for copyright reasons, but she's just slapping him to the beat of the song, you know, casual jokes and casual comments like he's right where he wants to be and petition for us to start beating our boyfriends more.
Huh?
Modern media has reframed assault into something playful and toxic, which we all know a lot of people love. You'll see casual acts of unprovoked violence.
We chasing that. Oh, no.
And that alone has made a lot of people desensitized to it. And obviously so, because there's even a trend for the perpetrators to just come online and proudly admit to something they should not take pride in.
What do the women that beat men look like? I hear so much about them, but
right,
what do they look like so I know how to avoid them? You feel what I'm saying? What do the women that beat men look like?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Brittany Monique. I ain't confessing.
Ah, man. What do the men who let women beat them look like? That's what I want to know.
But you know what's going on.
I'm gonna say something that you're probably gonna have to wrap your head around, and you may not agree and you may not like the sound of it, but just hear me out. Y'all remember earlier when we talked about that much needed cultural shift, when women had no other option but to fight back and the justice system finally started listening? Well, once that shift made fighting back more justified, over time, the look of fighting back started looking different, especially online. It seemed like some people started branding hitting men as empowerment. Almost like, yes, take the power back, but go ahead and knock that man out in the process.
So I've recently started a business where I beat men. So you are in a violent relationship. This boyfriend is trying to scam you. You're confused about him. He's cheating on you. He's beating you up. Wake me up at midnight to beat a man. Please, give me the opportunity. So I have a goal. In all this, I have a goal. I want to be able to beat at least 1,000 men by 2027.
Oh, brother! Shut up! I mean, it's just so ridiculous. The idea of these like short, overweight women like talking like this is crazy to me. Like, what kind of world is it that we live in now, man? But hey, in a weird way, I guess it is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe it's an overcorrection, right? Women are trying out their freedom a little bit. I don't know. Shit, well, okay.
Do you understand? I'm literally going to punish men, for sure.
Look, all I know is I got 2 daughters and I got a son. And both of them, I'm telling them, if it don't even need to get to the point where they're putting hands on you, you should never be with somebody that's trying to control you. No, this life is too short to live your life in a way where you are like doing what somebody else tells you to do just because they told you to do it, right? There is a person out there that will happily be with you and allow you to just be yourself, allow you to do the things you want to do. They came and they found you and you were the way you are and you liked the things you liked and all of that. That's what's for sale, right? This is not, oh, you like how I look and you like that I'm into this, but you don't like that I like those people and I hang out with those people, or I'm into doing that. And so you think that you're gonna build some kind of like emotional codependency and then use that to manipulate me into like doing something that I don't want to do, or, you know, force me to do something. And look, obviously men have been the guilty party in doing that to women, you know, forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that has been what it is. Although women do it, but usually they use emotional coercion and they hold sex ransom and shit like that. You know, that's what they do because that's the power that they have. Whereas men, they control the purse strings a lot of times. They won't give the woman money. They won't, they'll hit the woman. They'll cheat on the woman. They'll, make it so that the woman can't leave the house. You know, women, they'll even entrap women by just keeping them pregnant, getting them pregnant a bunch, and now they're forced to be at home. And so, yeah, people have been doing that forever. I'll make sure that both of my kids know that, like, it shouldn't even get, because before it gets to hitting, it starts off with yelling and emotional abuse in trying to control you. You should never try to control somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, down to like what people eat, bro.
Such a controversial but also touchy topic, because I would never intervene with a victim standing up to their abuser or someone stepping in to help a victim. Not to mention, sometimes God uses other people to make examples out of the wicked. But what we're seeing online, that's not justice. I don't understand how that's justice. This push to fight back is sending the wrong message to people who were never in danger to begin with. And all of a sudden, we're supposed to beat men just because they disrespected us.
Beat him. Put your hands on him. I'm not the friend that you call when your man is acting up, because I'm going to tell you to put your hands on him.
I feel like for any relationship to work, the man has to be scared of the woman just a little bit. It ain't even got to get domestic, but sometimes you gotta slap the shit out of a. Sometimes you gotta do that.
You sit up and act like you're an advocate for DV and how you're so against men putting their hands on women, and then you'll turn around and fix your mouth to joke and brag about the fact that you are hitting men unprovoked.
What should have just been self-defense is now basically abuse and just putting your hands on someone in the name of empowerment. And this also opened the door for men to be more comfortable.
Even this caption right here, you look so happy. Thanks, I beat men. No, you beat men because you're not happy, right? You have to be so miserable that you feel like the only way to get your reality to look more like what you want it to look like, you have to inflict pain on another person. That's the heights of misery. That's the heights of misery. That's what we say about racism, sexism, all forms of bigotry. It's you needing to be nasty to and hurt other people in order for you to be in a state of like balance. That's such a miserable place to be in life.
Of empowerment. And this also opened the door for men to be more comfortable in their wrongdoings too. If a man hits a woman, it's just toxic love. He's just putting his girl in place and being masculine.
What's something toxic that you like?
Being a little abusive. When he get real jealous, when he see me talking to another boy, he take it out on me. So
Hey, what's something toxic that you like?
When my man choked me out when we arguing.
But since when did abusive behavior
what is this? What is this?
Masculinity. If he's aggressive and violent, that's just him being manly. But truth be told, it's actually him just being a threat.
Yeah, I see why back in the day used to come home and beat the off their wife, bruh. And like, baby, these bills stressing me out. They keep piling up. I don't make enough. The job stress me out itself. You stress me out. Taxes eating up my check.
And y'all don't
So why you don't beat up the niggas at your job? Why don't you beat on your boss? Why you beating on your girl? That's some bitch shit right there.
Understand how heartbreaking it is to see all these videos I'm showing have hundreds and thousands of likes and
you should just abandon your family. That would be better. I'd respect that more. That's what men used to do, right? When it got to the point where they're like, man, I don't remember what movie I watched, bro. I watched some movie way back in the day, and the guy was like, that's how I knew it was time for me to leave her, because I was ready to start hitting her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whenever it get to that point, it's time to peace out. You know what I'm saying?
Society has got a long way to go, and I think that there are probably a lot of men out there who are suffering in silence and are too ashamed.
I was almost 6 foot tall. My wife was 5'4", and if I went and told anybody that my wife was assaulting me, they wouldn't believe me.
I'm thinking about the huge amount of men on.
I mean, like, yeah, okay, duh. It's not about the size difference. It's, if anything, it makes you put up with it more as a man, I would imagine, if you have that kind of mentality of scarcity, which is why you stay with this person. I could never imagine doing that, but you stay with this person, and so them being smaller makes you feel like it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's like a squirrel or a chipmunk or some other rambunctious woodland creature that is like, you know, pestering you. I get that. You know what I'm saying? So you feel like, oh yeah, nah, I can take it. But then she really starts laying it on you. You know what I'm saying? She catch you right in the eye. That's gonna leave a mark. You feel me? And so, yeah, that's crazy work though.
Who joke about this, further adding on to the stigma.
Life is short, let your girl beat you. I feel like any woman that will beat you will cheat on you too. I feel like those two things go together.
Being that men can't actually be physically harmed by women, and men love being with feisty girls that can beat the hell out of them.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but sometimes a man does need to be beat. Sometimes a man needs to fear his woman, scared at the fact that when he gets home, he's getting a frying pan stuffed up his ass.
You're a little
I'm sorry.
Hey, stop, that's not okay.
I'm sorry, did I ask you to help me?
No, but I saw you were in harm, so I thought I would help you.
You thought nothing. Look down at my pants. Does it look like I don't want this?
All I'm saying is, it just
That's some weird cringe pit me bullshit right there, boy.
further adds to the narrative that men are supposed to enjoy this. So whenever they do come forward with serious accusations, it'll be the same old, same old.
What do the women that beat men look like?
She was just beating my like 10 minutes ago.
What do the women that beat men look like?
That's Jaya. Hi, baby, I love you.
Oh.
You see, like, all of that she don't like you, nigga. She don't like you.
Like that.
This discourse on social media has caused a lot of back and forth and think pieces. One that we've all heard before is that women can put their hands on men, but men can't put their hands on women.
If someone come and slap you right now, what would you do?
I'm going to fight.
A girl right now, one of the girls right now slapped you. What would you do?
I'm going to uppercut her.
You're gonna fight a woman?
If she hits me, yes. If you can hit a man, you can get hit like a man. I'm sorry.
Nah, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, self-defense, if a random strange woman is hitting you, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't hit her. You know, you just like push her. You just push her across the room. You know what I'm saying? But fucking yeah, man. Don't you look like fighting a woman, bro? That's so lame.
Which, in my opinion, just leads people to take abuse less seriously, depending on.
You don't gotta hit a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just hold them. I guess not. Some guys, I guess, can't.
Who it happens to, and just overall.
But most guys can.
If you hit a man, like you full on as hard as you can, do you think that he should be allowed to hit you back?
I think that men should not hit women. Yeah, even if a girl hits you as hard as they can.
What about, is it wrong for the girl?
No, I don't think so.
So overall, abuse is abuse, no matter whose hands it's in. And the fact that it's been normalized and turned into a quirky trend is very telling.
The way a lot of y'all is normalizing domestic violence is really scary to me. The amount of women and men who are justifying domestic violence is weird. Ain't no relationship perfect. I am a firm believer in it, but it shouldn't be physical.
So if you're in a violent situation that you feel like you can't get out of, please know that you are not alone. You do not have to go through that, and you should not let somebody feel like you deserve to go through that, because you do not. I'm going to leave a very important phone number.
Man. At the end of the day, all humans have the potential to be evil fucks. That's the real moral of the story. Truly. So I don't think there's anything inherently evil about men, women, white people, black people, etc., etc. Really what it all comes down to is absolute power corrupts absolutely. And if somebody is not, if they're not mature in regards to empathy and emotional intelligence, if you give them the room to oppress and take advantage of others, a lot of the times that's what they'll do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but real takeaway is don't ever stay in a relationship where someone is trying to control you. There is somebody out there who will like you just the way that you are, just the things that you're into, the things you want to do, how you want to spend your time. Not everybody is compatible with everybody. There is nothing wrong with you not liking that girl does that thing or that guy does that thing. Like, I'm not saying there's something wrong with you that you don't want the person you're with to not do this certain thing. It just means that's not the person you're supposed to be with. Stop trying to control people and don't let people control you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Till next time, peace out.